Sir, good morning to you. I guess contempt is still on the table, but you're going to shelve it for now. How come?
Well, we filed articles of impeachment, and if we do not receive the documents and witnesses that we need, absent unnecessary redactions, it's my expectation that Congressman Meadows and Congressman Jordan and myself will seek a vote on impeachment when the Congress returns for its next session.
So
it's very disappointing.
I'm reading that what you're trying to figure out is you're trying to give Rosenstein a last chance to comply. And I understand the oversight you're trying to exercise here, but if you push him too far, would you, in effect, get less cooperation from the DOJ?
Well, it's hard to imagine we'd get less cooperation when the documents we get are often months late. They're redacted, not with information that's sensitive for national security, but just stuff that's embarrassing to the FBI, things like personal relationships with judges or the cost of furniture in their offices. And I don't think there's anything that could be less cooperative than having the Deputy Attorney General of the United States sign a FISA warrant that he wouldn't even tell us if he read to spy on people that were associated with the Trump campaign based on opposition research from the Democratic Party. To me, that's the most cavalier thing of all, that Rod Rosenstein would do those things, and then he would write the memo suggesting the firing of James Comey, and then he believes he can oversee the investigation to determine whether or not that firing constituted obstruction of justice. There are conflicts of interest everywhere, and in more than a year now, we just haven't gotten the answers from Rod Rosenstein that we would expect, and I think it's time for him to be fired or impeached.
Okay, three quick questions on this then. Why do you think you're getting the pushback from your own Republican leadership?
I don't know. They're not very bold people when it comes to oversight. I mean, we continue to set deadlines, and then we allow those deadlines to lapse, and then we make concessions, and then we set more deadlines and have more meetings. I'm pretty new to the Congress, Bill, but that just seems like low-energy oversight to me, and I think that if the Democrats took over the Congress, they'd say the documents will be produced by noon or your impeachment will begin at 12:01, and so I'd like to see us have a little more vigor in the oversight that's very important to protect the American people.
Okay, all right, question number two now. Why not just have the president release these documents? Smart legal minds say he can do that. Why not?
No, he absolutely can, and I would call on him to do that, specifically the documents that would reflect on investigative activity before July 31st. You'll remember, Bill, the Department of Justice said that's when they opened the investigation, but suspiciously, Peter Strzok and Rod Rosenstein wouldn't answer questions about potential intelligence collection or spying before that date, and I think that really goes to a lot of the president's claims, and he should declassify those documents.
Think he will?
I don't know. I'm calling on him to do it. I think he's in a very difficult position because he is the subject of the investigation, and we're now living in a world where the people making the ultimate decisions at the top of the executive branch were elected by nobody.
Last question. This has been a big tug of war. What do you think the Department of Justice is hiding, if you have this strong feeling?
I believe money was paid to people to collect intelligence on the Trump campaign. And that crosses a line in this country when you've got folks that are collecting intelligence not as a consequence of a true investigative basis, but based on instead this dirty dossier, this DNC information, and then going and spying on a rival political campaign. I think that the records we're asking will evidence that. And I would love to be proven wrong. I would love to know that that didn't happen in this country, but I've got suspicion that it did.
Matt Gaetz, thank you for your time today. The Republican from Florida, Congressional District 1 in the Sunshine State, the Panhandle. Thank you, sir. We'll talk again.